All right, ladies, we are going live. Everybody, welcome to the 3+1 live cast. We have a great, super exciting show with you tonight. We got the one and only co-host superior, Tracey Bonner.
Oh, hey, what's up, everybody?
And Tracey, I think that tonight there may be some congratulations in store because I saw that the hit Netflix series, Sweet Magnolias, has been renewed for a second season. So congratulations to you as a part of that cast and to the entire cast of Sweet Magnolias.
Thank you so much.
Congratulations. And we are joined by tonight's super special guest, the one and the only Brittany Inge. Did I say it right?
It was so close, Tracey. It was so close.
Let me do it, Brittany. Let me do it. We have the one and only, the illustrious, the most beautiful, the most kind woman I know. She is a thespian. She is a student of the art.
Thespian extraordinaire.
Yes, she is a student of the art. She's also one of my favorite clients. And you can also catch her on Boomerang as Crystal Garrett. Everybody, I present to you Miss Brittany Inge.
And the only Brittany. Oh my goodness. So now Inge is how you would say it. Where is it from?
You know what? Transatlantic slave trade. You understand? So I don't know, but I'm going to do my African ancestry this year, actually. But my dad is from Alabama, and that's all I know. So that's why we say Inge, like binge watch. It could be something completely different, obviously. So hopefully I can learn more about that.
What part of Alabama?
Oh, my dad is from, it's called, I think, Utah, Alabama, but it's spelled E-U-T-A-W.
I pass through Utah, Alabama when I go home to Mississippi. So my family's from Mississippi. So I pass through Utah, which is like exit 40 on 20 when you're headed down. So it's really great to have you. So so Tracey is you're one of our clients. Tell us about that experience.
Well,
because
first of all,
I'm always trying to sell Tracey and her services.
She looking like, is this shade? Well, first of all, Tracey and I met. I've known about Tracey for a long time, but Tracey and I met, I think 2 years ago now, doing a reading. And we played sisters.
Did we? Oh, we cut up.
We had such a good time. We played sisters in the reading, and I just feel like we both fell in love with each other's like love for the craft, each other's excellence. She's brilliant, and we just kind of connected. And then like a month later, I was like trying to move. And then because I just met Tracey, I forgot to like invite her to my going away thing. Y'all, Tracey invited herself. It was perfect. I was so glad that she came because I like adore her. And we've been chatting ever since. We get on the phone. Sometimes we just talk. Sometimes I'm calling her for help with auditions, and working with her is a dream. Honestly, she helps me so much and she knows her stuff. And it's nice to go in with somebody who, you know, kind of works the craft the same way that you do. It's always nice to collaborate with someone who gets it, you know? So
I did not invite myself. I got a text invitation.
Oh, you did?
Yes, you forgot. You forgot.
Good.
You sent a text and was like, girl, I forgot to add you to the list. That's what it was. I don't be crashing.
I still wanted you there. Either way, my point was I wanted her there, and there was an oversight. I wanted you there.
Period. So, you know, Brittany, how long have you wanted to be an actress?
Well, I've been an artist my whole life. Like I came out the womb singing. I thought I was going to be Whitney Houston. That was the goal. Just be Whitney. That's it. There was no other goal for me. And I studied music in high school. I went to a performing arts high school, Duke Ellington School of the Arts in DC. Studied music there. Got my degree in music from Spelman. So music was like my world. But then when I graduated, trying to work with music, it was like you either hitting up an open mic or you know a producer, you going to somebody's basement. There wasn't a lot of opportunity. Mm-hmm. And I fell out of love with singing because my gift for singing was a gift that got critiqued and kind of picked apart so much that at some point it wasn't fun for me anymore. So I was trying to find the balance.
So you went over to acting instead?
No. Well, what really happened is that I got an audition for this community theater show, a terrible show, but they needed somebody who could sing and act. It was terrible. And I had enough of a natural knack for acting that it just kind of worked. I hadn't studied the way that I needed to. And so, but from doing that show, I really got bit by the bug, and I was like, oh, I really want to like dive into this craft and learn it. I don't want to rely on this little bit of natural, inkling that I have towards it. I want to go for it. And so I started studying and training.
And how did you get to Atlanta?
I came to Atlanta to go to Spelman.
Oh, okay.
So,
hey to you too, Jamel, my good friend who did not speak to me.
Uh-oh. No, yeah, I came to Atlanta to go to Spelman, and then I just stayed after graduation. That's how I got to Atlanta. So college brought me here.
Did Spelman give you the foundation that you feel you needed to be successful in the industry?
Let's talk about it, HBCUs. Okay.
Well, let's talk about college in general, preparing people for the arts. I think there's a lot of like studying and training people in the craft, but not a lot of training people in the business. And that goes for music. I was a music major. That goes for music. That goes for theater. That goes for dance. All of the above. It's like you're teaching people all these techniques and all these things that they can use in their craft. And that's great. But what are you teaching them about the business? Because you're going to have all this technique and you can't get in the room because you don't know anything about having the right type of headshots or what your type is or what type of monologues you need to be doing. Like, you don't know. They got you playing 40-year-old women in college. How is that helping you prepare for the type of work you'll be going out for when you graduate? Exactly. So I think colleges in general can do a disservice by not teaching their students the business. They're just teaching them all this technique and craft, which you also need, but you need both. So
wow.
I agree. Mm-hmm. I agree. I'm working right now with some students over at the theater school at DePaul University in Chicago, and I'm really trying to help them understand, baby, when you get out of this school, I need you to understand, because they're Black.
Yeah.
You won't be playing in a doll's house. You won't be doing a whole lot of Shakespeare. Okay. When you get out there, Tennessee Williams you might not. So you need to know, like you said, your range, your type, all of that. And they don't teach us that. I played Miss Leah. I think that was her name in Flying West. The old lady with the apple pie.
Wow.
I was 24.
Right.
So
there you go.
Wow. And so, that's a good point, Tracey. And I think I want to also say, there are a lot of people who are watching Brittany who are from, rural places like your dad coming from Utah, Alabama.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Tracey, I know you coming from Tennessee. Do you have to move to a city to be successful in the industry?
Speak it, Brittany.
I mean, yeah.
Where did you move, Brittany? Where did you move, baby? You tell them what you did.
Well, Atlanta is where I got my start, as we know, but I hit a ceiling in Atlanta because Atlanta is what we refer to as a secondary market. Mm-hmm. So it got to a point for me that I was booking regularly, but I was only booking certain types of roles under the umbrella of what Atlanta can offer me. Okay. So I was like, I gotta make a decision. I could stay here and just keep working, but I felt like I was ready for more. So I moved to New York. And I chose New York over LA because I love theater so much. Theater is still like a big part of my passion for life. So I chose New York over LA initially. And yeah, I had to move to that bigger market. And I have to say the quality of auditions that I get now out of New York are bar none, like compared to,
really?
To what I'm doing in Atlanta. Yeah.
Everyone talks about Atlanta as though we're now, Yollywood, it's what they call it, or Black Hollywood. And so with that being stated, is that not the case, or has that not been your experience?
It's not that it's not the case. Yeah, exactly. It's not that it's not the case. It's that everything films here, right? So because it's cheaper to film here. So people get this idea in their head like, oh, this film's in Atlanta, this film's in Atlanta. Oh, I need to move to Atlanta if I want to be an actor. Yes and no. Atlanta's a great place to start. It's a great place to build some credits, build a resume. But the reality is, even though the projects are filming here, they're still booking those major lead, series regular, whatever you want to say it for a movie, just lead roles out of New York and LA. They're still booking the bigger roles out of those bigger markets and then coming to Georgia to film because it's cheaper. So you just have to, and again, people don't know, you have to know all of that.
And it's cheaper to get the talent here in Atlanta to be the co-star, to be the supporting role.
Right.
Or, you know, even if we book guest star or recurring guest star, they'll negotiate lower pay for Atlanta talent.
Yeah.
Oh, I can get Tracey Bonner for a weekly and not a guest star rate. And me, I know I'm not moving to New York and LA. I'm done. I'm at an age where that's over. I like my little apartment here. My lifestyle is just much slower because I did that whole Chicago big city thing. And so I'm kind of like at the space where I just want to chill. I'm closer to family now, you know, and so I'm okay with it. But people like Brittany, whose star is rising, y'all, I promise you, she will be, I'm speaking this, she will be a series regular on another show very soon. Very soon. Because her work ethic is like, it's bar none. You know, when she walks into a space, she really just, she comes prepared. She's going to ask questions. She's going to make sure the quality is right. And so I'm saying that, sister, you're going to blow. You are going to blow. And while we're speaking about that, what's next for you? Did she freeze? Oh, no. I think we lost.
And so I'm sure she'll come back. So Brittany, if you're out there, you can always come back. There's
a weird up for me. Wait, is it breaking up for y'all?
Yeah,
no, you're in and out.
Is it me?
It's you. So log off and log back.
Hold on.
Yeah, take your time. And when
hold on, I can fix it.
Okay.
I'm gonna fix it. Yep, 1 second.
But to be honest, you know, Tracey, one thing is that the whole entire, it seems to be a little bit delayed in general. I've noticed because Jamel this just popped up where she's laughing, I'm assuming at not speaking to her good friend Zack when she spoke to her good friend Tracey. But I'm certain, I think there's something odd in the network.
Everything is happening. My Zooms aren't working well. People are having to log out. So it's happening. What's up,
Brian? Our boo, she's on her way. She's on her way back. But I agree. You know, this is just giving everybody some background. When I know that I've seen Brittany in theater here in Atlanta because I remember her face, and I can't wait for her to tell me what program or what theater she's done. Because I know, Brittany, you're back. I was telling Tracey, you know, when she's talking about, you know, your star rising. I know I've seen you here in Atlanta. I know I've seen you in theater. So what plays did you do with True Color? Was it True Colors or?
I've done a few with True Colors. I've worked at several theaters around Atlanta. The first professional gig I ever had was actually being an understudy at the Alliance Theater. And
I love the Alliance. I see a lot. So is there maybe what was the show?
It was Born for This, the BB Winans story.
Okay.
Yeah, I understudied the roles of. Sorry, I'm trying to fix my little hair. I understudied the roles of CeCe Winans and Mom Winans. So just having to like do that experience, and even like doing like the understudy rehearsals and having the stage manager watching us very closely. That was like my first. I don't know, just look at what it would really be like to even be an understudy on Broadway, like to get an idea of like really knowing people's tracks, learning multiple tracks, and really knowing it, because they're going to put you up there for an understudy rehearsal and expect you to go through all of it, you know?
And so, Tracey asks, I think the question is, you know, kind of what's next before we kind of hit that frozen, before we froze up.
Tracey, you said nice things about me, but I heard it. I heard most of it, girl. Thank you, girl. Okay.
Because your star, and Tracey, like your star is rising. To Zachary Kirk, your star is there. I mean, you've been on Atlanta, one of my favorite television programs. You were on Dynasty on the CW. Passage, Survivor's Remorse, Love Is on Own, and you are also in the film The Hate You Give.
Mm-hmm.
What, we're not talking about Boomerang yet. We're getting ready to go in Boomerang, but of those roles, was there something that really stood out to you as this was a role that meant the most to me in terms of your growth and your learning as an actress?
Yes. Well, there are two. The first one was Atlanta, because that's just a show that I was in love with. Especially like watching the first season. I sat at home watching the first season like, this is so dope. Like, wow, like he really did this. This is brilliant. And this is the Atlanta that I know in some ways, not all of it. But I was like, this is like crazy. And so when I started getting auditions for season 2, I was really hopeful. Like it was something I was really banking on that I really wanted. And for me as an actor, I find myself kind of resistant to really wanting things these days, because I try to just let stuff go and let the cards fall where they may, so that I don't drive myself crazy. So I was in that place with Atlanta, like, no, I really want this. I love this show. So booking it meant a lot to me, and it was a very fun and crazy role. So I had a lot of fun with that. But another role that really meant a lot to me personally was Survivor's Remorse, because it was my first professional like SAG booking ever. And the day before the audition for that part, I got robbed at gunpoint. Y'all, yes. Okay. I have to tell this story because it's a testimony. Like, it's really crazy. I was coming home from teaching in a youth acting class, actually. So it was pretty late. Came home, got out of my car, and there were people just waiting for somebody to roll up, basically. You know, they're just kids, because I could tell that they were kids. And so anyway, got robbed at gunpoint. I was very frazzled, very traumatized. And I had to make an executive decision that night. Like, am I still going to go to this audition tomorrow? Like, you know, what am I going to do? Thank God I have my life, but I'm traumatized. And so I prayed on it, and I decided to still go. And somehow I was able to get through the audition. My nerves were shot, but I was able to get through it. And a week later, I found out I booked it, and it was just like, wow. Like, if I had let that deter me, who knows, you know? So that was very important to me.
Wow. Yeah. I did not know that, Britt.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Just a testament to your strength as a woman, you know, as a strong Black woman.
Well, there's a lot of testaments to strong Black women. That's right. I want to give a shout out to all of the women of Delta Sigma Theta in the Metro Atlanta area who supported Mayor Keisha Lance Bottoms today. As and here's one of those women, Jamel Riggins, the lovely lady of Delta Sigma Theta, who went to our state capitol in protest of Governor Brian Kemp's actions against our mayor that are sexist and perhaps even racist in the fact that he has not leveraged those same kinds of sanctions against any other mayor. So shout out to those ladies. When you speak of strong Black women, they truly do. They are the epitome of that, and they show that to us today. So, Brittany, before we go into Boomerang, when you think about all of these great people that you had to work with, we know Childish Gambino and of course Atlanta. Is there anyone that you've worked with who really set the bar high? Who you said this is a master of the craft?
Ooh, that is. First of all, that's a really great question. Oh man, it's hard because yes, there are people I've worked with, but this is where it gets to the real. They've mostly been theater actors.
Tell us about it.
Yeah, there are people that I've worked with where I've definitely had that experience, and they've mostly been theater actors so far. I haven't, I'm still evolving and growing in my career, but yes, Tanya Jackson, Tracy Bonner, Margot Moore. I mean, I can name, like, literally, these are women who, when I've worked with them, I'm like, oh, this is what it feels like to really, like, be in a scene with somebody who's really holding space the same way that you are, who's really giving energy back the same way I'm giving it. It really feels like a tennis match. It feels like a game, and we truly get to play because we're people who really know and care about this craft. So, yeah, plenty of times in theater. Yes. Television, I'm trying to think like some of my roles so far. I don't know. I'm still, like I said, growing in that. explain.
It's hard though. I say the same thing. You know, most of the actors that are my favorite actors are in theater. They're not famous. They're not known, you know, but they're known in our communities. Mm-hmm. But we also have to be clear when we go on these sets, a lot of times, if you're not a series regular, you don't really get to work with the main characters or the lead characters as closely. You go to the scene, you shoot the scene, and then y'all leave. Like there's no connection, there's no collaboration. Your rehearsal is, okay, this is your mark. I want you to walk there. So, you know, it's kind of, it's just not as collaborative. It's not as in depth. We really don't get to bounce off of one another. In TV and film, you got to show up ready to go.
Yeah. Yeah.
As if you and that person have known each other forever. And that is not the case. When you play opposite your love interest, you got to, everything has to happen in them 4-5 takes and then you gone.
Yeah.
You do a play, you rehearse for 3.5, 4 weeks, and then you run it for another 4 weeks. So you're spending a lot of time with those castmates and you get to really see their craft. You get to see their processes as actors, and you get to kind of take and pull what works, some things that may work for them that you like, and kind of put that in your toolbox. So
yeah, I would say the person I've enjoyed collaborating most with as far as TV is a director. Her name is Dime Davis.
Nice.
Just working with her and like her appreciation for the craft and how seriously she takes it. That's probably been the most, yeah.
And that's Dime, D-I-M-E, Dime Davis.
Mm-hmm. Dime Davis. Yep.
So I have a question for both of you young ladies. Number one, I know Tracy's favorite role in theater. Tracey, I know your work on the mountaintop, right? Mm-hmm. Wouldn't that be like a role that meant the most to you? Tracey, are you going to give us? Are you going to do any Atlanta theater in my life ever? Like, am I ever going to get stage in Atlanta?
True Colors. I've worked at the Alliance.
No, I'm talking about in my time knowing you. I'm not saying you haven't done it, but in our time together, in the relationship that we have cultivated. Because if you do anything, I'm going to be there. You have not done anything on stage in our friendship.
You're right, and I have wanted to, but now my focus really is TV and film. You know, TV and film is out of sight, out of mind. You know, if you leave and go do something, and so and people got to understand, theater is time consuming.
Yes,
you spend 8 hours a day, 6 days a week. You only get Monday off. Mm-hmm. And so that is just not enough time for me to really work on my TV and film auditions. I tried it. That's why I left theater, because I was doing exit strategy over at True Colors during pilot season. And pilot season is when all those really big shows come in, those big series regular opportunities were happening. I almost lost my mind. I said, I can't do this. Mm-hmm. And so I had to walk away. So I'm still building my career. I'm not a series regular yet, like my home girl. So I'm not
And the last question, Brittany, before we talk about your series regular position on Boomerang, is of the three, television, film, and stage, which one do you enjoy the most?
I enjoy theater the most. I enjoy it the most. However, I have not had a chance yet to do an in-depth film role. And I think that film is like the perfect marriage of the work you do in theater and the work you do in television. So I would love to dive deeper into like more film work. That's a goal of mine. So yeah, but theater fulfills me the most.
I have not seen Boomerang yet. I have not seen the show.
That is fine.
And there may be some, but I'm going to watch it. So I can watch this on, is this on?
Hey, we are in front of people.
I know. That's what I said.
So Brittany, is this show on BET or is it on the BET Plus?
It's on BET, the station.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Have they finished the season or is it just now? Is it still on air?
No, it finished. I think the season finished airing in April. So we have 2 seasons under our belt. And I think you can find all of yeah, I think you find all of season 1 on BET Plus, and if not season 2 on there, I know season
ain't
2.
got no money for that.
Awkward. If not season 2, they have it on Amazon Prime. I know.
Oh, good.
Yeah,
I do have I'm already subscribed. You know, in the era of COVID-19, no new bills, but you know, maximize what we already have.
Fair.
So tell me about the show. Mm-hmm. And what I need to know before starting the binge watching process that I'm going to start after we wrap tonight.
Because he will.
No, I'm going to binge it.
I'm trying to think. Well, okay. You know Boomerang the film.
Yeah. I do.
Okay, great. I love that film. So
even though, Brittany, there's a rumor, it's a misconception that I don't watch a lot of Black films that Tracey has perpetuated via this live cast, which is not true. I have seen Boomerang the film, and I think it was funny when I saw it as a kid.
Have you seen Belly?
No. Mm-mm. I know DMX was in Belly, and he showed his belly yesterday in his versus battle. I have yet to see it.
Oh no! Woo! Woo! Well, there you have it, people. Belly and Belly. No, so okay, the movie Boomerang, right? You got Marcus Graham, you have Angela, which is Halle Berry's character who becomes Angela Graham because they end up together. Okay. You have Robin Givens' character.
So it's a real sequel to the film.
It's a continuation. So literally, you have our main character Simone Graham. She is the daughter of Marcus and Angela Graham. And then our other main character, Bryson Boyer, he is the son of Jacqueline Boyer, which is Robin Givens' character. So they are the central characters, but the show is really about this group of 6 friends, 3 ladies, 3 guys, and how they just navigate life as Black millennials, trying to be successful, trying to figure out their love lives, trying to, work through all the things that young adults are working through, and supporting each other. And like I said, trying to be professionals and also creatives and all this stuff. We call it the Black version of Friends, basically, is the best way to describe it. And I play Crystal Garrett, and I'm one of Simone's best friends. We've been best friends since childhood. And there's a lot that goes on. What I will say about Crystal is that she's the mother of the friend group for sure. And she sometimes feels like she isn't always seen or heard by her friends in the way that she sees and hears them and shows up for them. But season 2, you get to see her take her own journey and be delivered from all of that. And she's newly divorced. She's 26 and newly divorced. So she's navigating life as a woman who thought she wanted one thing. She thought, that she was going to college to get her MRS. You know what I mean? She thought that she just wanted to be a wife and a mother, and that was her life. And she realized, hey, that's not quite what's popping. So now she's rediscovering herself and her life.
That does sound like pretty interesting. So I'm gonna binge it. I'm gonna check it out. And we are going to, maybe I'll write a review, right? We have a website coming up. You'll be getting a questionnaire.
You make sure you finish season 2 before you're writing.
Okay, but I can't watch. So maybe how much is BET Plus?
I think it's $5. Tracey has muted herself to laugh. I think it's $5. I think.
You know what, Brittany, for you, my love, I can certainly do $5. So, we're working on the 3+1 media website, right, to go along with the live cast. So I'm going to email you a questionnaire. Just get it back to me when you can. Yeah. Because we're going to, of course, feature you on our website. We're going to launch the website September the 1st. And so we will you will be featured on that website, and I'll have what I'll do in my review is I'll be paid very close attention to your character and your character story arc and your growth as a character, because I'm now emotionally invested in you. And not only am I emotionally invested in you, many people out there watching are emotionally invested in this man right here.
Yes.
We segue right into the hot topics and the conversation. And this has been a very challenging week for our friend. The one Yeezy. He your brother. He's not my brother. That's your brother. It's not my brother.
No, I don't.
Welcome to the 3+1 podcast.
I am obsessed. Tracey, where have you been hiding him?
Hey.
I think, where have you been hiding me, Tracey? What's the problem here?
I have not been hiding you. Ain't nothing a secret about you.
See, now that I should have muted myself. You should have gave me a warning so I could have muted. But Tracey, I agree. I'm a wide open book. But what really, honestly, ladies, what are your thoughts on the revelations that have come out this week? It's been a very challenging week for Kanye West, and I do want to know the perspectives that you both bring to the table. I'm gonna mute myself so I don't talk too much about this topic.
Tracey, you just gonna pop? You just gonna throw popcorn in? Thank you.
I have been saying this for the longest. I was like, there's a song on College Dropout where this guy says, lost my mama, lost my mind. And I was like, what song is that? So I went back through the playlist, and it's called Spaceship.
Yep, the Spaceships. Yep. College Dropout is my groove. So
and every time I hear or see a tweet or a video about Kanye, I think of that. He lost his mama. He lost his mind. Now, I will say this. I do believe Kanye West is a narcissist and was a narcissist many, many, many years ago. Mm-hmm. But coupled with that, he is troubled mentally. Mm. And I do believe his relationship with his wife has really taken him over the top because of, I don't think she's able to nurture him in a way that he really needs. She is more concerned with her image and her family's image than she really is with nurturing his instability. This man is manic. Mm-hmm. He's compulsive. A lot of people like to call him a genius in music. I don't see that. I think he makes good music. I don't find it to be genius. Mm-hmm. Because all he did to start his career is really took some people's records and sped them up a little bit or slowed them down. So to me, that's not genius. That was just, an idea, okay? Or a remix. So that's how I feel about that. But I'm just saying, like, I don't think he's being nurtured. And that's the one of the biggest issues for me. Brittany, challenge.
I think it's interesting to hear you say that his wife is not able to nurture him or support him the way that he needs. Mm-hmm. That really stands out to me as a Black woman. And I'm saying this as gingerly as I can.
Speak on it. I mean, Brittany, this is the 3+1 live cast. And of course, we don't want to be offensive at all. But the reality is what you're saying has been talked about on Black Twitter from the moment Kanye West started to have issues with his mental health and was diagnosed with bipolar in 2016. Yeah. It's been talked about all week in regards to how people are responding, even to how Kim Kardashian came out into his defense. Some people immediately said, this is going to be, as Jamel it just popped up, there's a slight lag. Jamel said it was opportunistic. Mm-hmm. Many people felt that what Kim Kardashian said was even opportunistic. So, I mean, speak on it.
I did not see her statement, so I can't even speak to that. I need to go look.
I did.
Okay, yeah, I didn't see it. But I just think it's interesting. Kanye was very vocal in the beginning of his career. He was very pro-Black. He even said things about, people getting on and leaving a Black woman for a white girl. I mean, he rapped about those types of things. And then he finds himself kind of living out the stuff that he was spouting at the top of his career. I don't want to diminish his mental disorder. However, being bipolar, it doesn't make you anti-Black. Being bipolar doesn't turn you into like a butthole. I don't know. I don't want to say it but just because you have a mental disorder, which is very real, and no one's discrediting the seriousness of that, it doesn't turn you into all these other things all these other traits that he's exuding. And I don't know. I just think if he had his mother around, if he had more Black women around him to ground him, there would be, yes, he would still be dealing with bipolar disorder. No, again, nobody's negating that, but there would be more healing that would be able to take place. There would be more regulation of his disorder that would be able to take place, I believe, because nobody can ground you like a Black woman. That's my belief.
You better preach on this Thursday evening.
So that's what I have to say about that.
So do you guys agree with Jamel in that some of Kanye's exhibited behaviors might be opportunistic at this moment, that he uses at times his mental capacity to take advantage of certain opportunities, like to get more press, to like put his name out there?
I don't know if it's opportunistic. I don't think he thinks he has a problem.
Yes.
I don't think he, I mean, he said I have bipolar disorder, but I just don't think he believes his antics. I don't think he's thinking.
Yeah.
Just listen to the words that are coming out of his mouth. He's not thinking. So no, I don't think he was like, he said he was gonna run in 2016. He said it.
Yeah.
This is not. I don't want to belabor it. He needs help. I really think he's been abandoned by a lot of his friends. I think we as Black people just are not equipped. We don't know enough about mental disorder. We see those neighborhood people who walk around we had a guy named Eddie that lived down the street. Every day he wore thermals and flannel shirts all year round. In the cold, he never wore a coat. In the summer, he still had on this, and we were like, "Oh, that's just crazy, Eddie," And I think we just say that and keep it moving. We don't learn or educate ourselves when someone is mentally disabled. We want to pray it away. We're gonna pray. We're gonna pray for Eddie.
But you know what, Tracey?
Go ahead.
This is a time that we align and agree. And I'm gonna say, I posted on Facebook, my thoughts concerning Kanye West. And I agree with both of you ladies. I understand the mental issues that he has, but I also agree that there's a level of attention-seeking behavior that could be a part of the disorder. It could be a manifestation of the disorder. I hear it is not excusable.
Yes.
This is what bothers me. When you talk about Eddie in the flannel shirt, what did your family do for Eddie? I'm not saying in general, but I'm saying like the village, right? When we talk about the community, the village, do we wrap our arms around Eddie with sympathy? Do we ensure that when we're driving down the road, we got $5 in the car for Eddie because we know he's going to be there? Do we think about, here's this food that we have, let me set a portion of my food aside to give to Eddie because I care about Eddie? And to be honest with most people,
I will say this, as our community, it's a whole nother thing with Eddie. It was rumored that he was my mom's brother, like everybody, it was a whole bunch of stuff going on. But what we
add that to Sweet Magnolia's story idea board. June got a brother Eddie.
But what we did with Eddie, my grandmother and the community grandmothers would say, like, don't mess with Eddie because Eddie went to a party in college. He was a superior athlete. Went to college, and some young white boys put something in his drink, and it changed his whole everything.
I had an uncle that happened to.
He stopped playing sports. He came back home. And so we were told to stay away. But the community, we would still say, hey, Eddie. But there was nothing really, he still lived with his mom.
Yeah.
So.
That's in the country. But when you think, so here in Atlanta, we see homeless people every day.
Yeah.
I run the city and I see people talking to themselves. They have mental health issues and people are not kind to these individuals, right? Like, I have my beliefs. I'm a Christian. You, Tracey, we've talked about my beliefs and how I have money in the car, give my money away. And, but I've noticed on my timeline, there's a lot of defense of Kanye West and a lot of sympathy and compassion for him, supporting Trump, for him doing things that are hurtful and detrimental to the Black community. saying things that are destructive and absent, some things that are very ignorant that crosses the line, like saying we were going to abort our daughter. I want some things that are very damaging. And people are making a lot of excuses. My issue is that I don't believe the same people would make those same excuses for our homeless brothers and sisters on the street. And I take issue with that. Because many of our homeless brothers and sisters do not have the financial means to receive treatment. Kanye West has the financial means for high quality treatment.
Him making the picture pop up.
Do this.
Kanye West has the financial capabilities to receive high quality psychiatric treatment and help. Kanye West can afford to have a counselor with him 24 hours a day. And for him to be experiencing a number of the issues that he's experiencing at the rate in which he's experiencing them, to me, indicates a level of what could be non-compliant behavior. A refusal to take the medication that is prescribed, a refusal to get the help and at this point, there is no help. I mean, I'm not saying that right now, when you're going through a manic episode, you have to go through the episode and come out on the other side of the episode before you can get help. But I'm saying there's a level of treatment in some cases that possibly could have been prevented. And for anyone who's saying that may be harsh or untrue because you don't know his mental health state, my counter argument is I don't even know if the man is bipolar because I haven't seen any doctor records in the first place. All that to say, I have no sympathy for Kanye West. Not me, not Zack.
Okay. I must say this, guys. I do think he has bipolar disorder because he exhibits all of the behaviors of one who has bipolar disorder. Reason why I know is because I've researched it just to make sure I ain't got it.
I feel like I said it was harsh what I said, but I hear you.
I hear you.
What I will say is I do believe he is isolated in Calabasas. He is isolated. He does not have his friends with him. Oh, I see my slip showing.
Yeah, I was adjusted too. I'm like, I don't want to be fidgeting.
My slip is showing, guys. I do believe he's isolated. I do believe he does not have his friends and family that one would normally have in this case. He is over there with those Kardashians. He's stuck. They got him stuck on the west wing of that Calabasas mansion. And so he has to let this out in whatever way he can see
he
fit.
chooses to be there. He made this choice. Nobody made him marry and follow. Look, no one made him go to Kim Kardashian and sign up for this circus of a life.
Well, that's because he thought.
Who doesn't know that life in the Calabasas mansion is nonsense? He saw what happened to other brothers like Lamar Odom. Like, I can't give him sympathy.
Also, did you guys see the tweets about him saying everyone knows the movie Get Out is about me? For me, that was alarming.
And he said Kim was a white supremacist.
Bipolar.
And also, but to your point, and to some of the comments that we're seeing, like at some point though, grown people do, yes, he is bipolar, but at some point grown people do have to take responsibility for their own lives. And so if he's refusing treatment and he's refusing all these other, avenues that can help him and stabilize him and help him be the best, forget Kim and help him be the best father that he can be, even help him be the best man and artist that he can be. If he's refusing treatment for that, how can you have sympathy, for someone who's grown and actively refusing treatment when they are not manic, when they stabilize and they're still saying, no, I don't want anything,
I still believe, here's my issue though. I don't think he thinks he's crazy. Or, let me not say crazy. Oh God.
He doesn't think he has an issue.
Yes. Thank you.
I said, you know what, Tracey? I said something on a live on Monday that I'm afraid will haunt me. About something even in my actual industry, the education live, and I'm like, is there a way to take that out? And the guy hadn't even responded back to me. It's his birthday. Happy birthday, DeAndre. I'm just hoping that clip doesn't service of me saying something disparaging about a major figure in education.
I don't want to say crazy, but
we know what you mean. You're saying someone who has a mental health issue, and it was, for lack of a better word, at the moment when you were thinking, I think you'll be fine. You won't be canceled today. But this is a question that I want to know is, are we going to do we have any sympathy for this young man that I'm getting ready to show you? Or is this young man going to be canceled? He's the one and he's the only Representative Yoho. Okay. Representative Yoho got into a confrontation on the Capitol steps with Representative, the one and only Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez in DC. And in this confrontation, they were arguing. And then afterwards, he was walking away and he said to her, he called her a fucking bitch.
Now, I heard this story, but I'm going to be honest. For a minute, when you pulled up this picture, I was going to go into Keke Palmer. I hate to say it. I hope I don't sound ridiculous. I don't know who this man is. He could be walking.
That is like my favorite quote.
Yeah, I was like, he could be walking down the street, and I wouldn't know a thing.
Go to this man.
That's what I was about to go into that, but then you explain. I do know the story, okay, but I wasn't clear when you.
I was like.
I hate to say it. Okay, I'm back.
But you know what? That speaks to, but that's, you know what I'm saying? That's a good thing because that speaks to the power of Representative Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. Now, we all know who she is because she is a fighter of the people. And this man, that we don't know who this man is a general, misogynistic hater who has failed the people of this nation.
Well, yeah.
And Gail Womack Jordan, I blame you for this too, because he represents the great state of Texas, where you live.
Gail is somewhere not pleased. I don't know if I can cancel someone that I don't know or care about, but I will say that he was wrong to call her out of her name. As first of all, it's just not professional or appropriate in that setting or any setting. So let's just start there. And if a black man had done something like that, like a black, man in his position had done the same thing, he'd be calling for his job to be gone or, something to that effect. So
yeah, you're right. It is Florida. You're right. You're right. There was another gentleman that I saw yesterday on MSNBC from Florida, from Texas. But you're right. You're correct.
I guess my question is, where has politics gone?
Right.
Since 2016, we used to have some sense of decorum. We used to, whether we agreed with one another's political parties or not, there was a slight sense of decorum, respect for women and just for you in general. Now, all gloves are off. We duking it out. We are saying whatever comes to mind. We're cussing on live TV. We are doing all kinds of stuff. And I'm just like, we do not see what happened when this 45 got in office. This man has changed how we deal with people. And so for me, my question is, where are the people after this man says this? Why are we not checking that shit right then, in that moment? What happened?
Right.
What happened to us?
And you know what? I don't know if you didn't see today, Representative Ocasio-Cortez addressed the U.S. House of Representatives, and it was a beautiful moment. I'm going to post it. You know what? I'm going to post it. The clip, I saw the clip on C-SPAN. I'm going to post the clip. And Gail is saying that Chris Wallace also posted it.
Oh, he's on the road this week.
When I tell you, she laid this man out so beautifully and so eloquently. And she talked about how she was a waitress or a bartender, and she kicked me out of the bar for speaking and using that kind of language. But this man wants to use this language in the United States House of Representatives on the steps of the Capitol towards a congresswoman. Right. And not only that, but he was there with a fellow congressman who said nothing, who didn't check him, who didn't support him, who upheld him in this. And that speaks to the ways that Republican white men in the United States government respond to women and think of women. And Tracey, to your credit, she referenced Donald Trump multiple times, and she referenced how he does this and has done this multiple times. And it wasn't the fact that he made, she said, the mistake of using such foul, misogynistic language towards a woman. It was the fact that he gave a piss poor apology the next day to it. that made her get up and make it a bigger deal and really resonate. It was a 9-minute clip, but when I tell you this 9-minute clip is going to resonate, I hope, throughout this man's whole entire career. And if you are a woman and you are still able to stand by and support this man.
Oh, that's her.
That's her.
You know them. Hold on.
Don't quit.
And so if you are able to still support him, it's a real issue. And so Christina points out the fact, because she's a woman of color, people don't really care.
Yeah.
And that's
I agree with that. Like, what are your thoughts on that?
I was going to say just that. You know, you were saying, like, where's the decorum gone? Well, our person in the White, I can't even call him a president, but our person in the White House has given everyone permission to let their freak flags fly, for lack of a better term. You know, let the racism just flies free. Nobody feels like they have to cover it up. We're not saying that it ever went away, but nobody feels like they have to cover it as much. So the fact that this happened to AOC and no one is really coming to her defense, she's coming to her own defense. And then the grace of her to even call it a mistake. So much grace in how she even chose to acknowledge what happened to her. And she's coming to her own defense and breaking down everything that's wrong with what happened to her is insane. But this is the world we live in, because we have a leader who has just opened the doors for decorum to be non-existent, professionalism to be non-existent, hiding your racism to be non-existent.
You know, we're failing to hide the racism because they want, like, right in your face.
Exactly.
And so you're right. This is, of course, an image of Congresswoman Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. I follow her. I get her tweets alerts. Anytime she tweets, I want to see it in real moment. I mean, she is my favorite Congresswoman, period, point blank, hands down. I love her story. I love her boldness. And I'm going to be honest, when she first came on the scene, I wasn't there. I wasn't there. You know, I'm going through a journey. Christina, who is here with us, I don't know if she's still logged on. You know, Christina is a part of my journey. We had Christina on the podcast. We were doing a podcast, and then also, of course, on our live cast. And she really makes me think bigger and broader about what can be. And that's, again, the power of young people and what younger people can do. And so it really, and Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez is another young person who has pushed my thinking forward. What she envisions for America and what she sees for people in this country is bigger than what I can conceptualize. But she's helping me get there. I am, because of probably my age, because of my income, because of my life experiences, I am a moderate. I am, you know, left of center, but I'm still a moderate. I am not far down to being more progressive. I can say when I was younger, my ideas were more progressive, but they were progressive to where I see America going now. So I'm sure that when you get older, it's always kind of like that way. But I want to see more progressive views. I want to see a world where in America we get reparations for slavery. I want to see a world in America where, you know, student loan debt is completely forgiven and adequate access to high quality education exists for all people. I want to see that, but at the same time, I don't have any faith that either one will happen. I think that's a part of being martyred. But again, Congresswoman Ocasio-Cortez is pushing me to get there. Tracey, we had a brief conversation before Brittany joined us about your favorite program, The Breakfast Club. Brittany, I'm gonna turn over to Tracey. I don't watch The Breakfast Club. I refuse to watch the show. I hate Charlamagne the Gadfly. And I'm gonna tell you why if you don't know, real brief. I do not like him or Wendy Williams or anyone who profits off of Black celebrity and the downfall of Black celebrity. I feel as though they are a detriment to the village and that giving them a platform hurts the progress forward of our greatest commodity at the moment, which is Black culture. At the moment is Black culture. And they diminish it. I also feel as though Charlamagne the Gadfly with his nose job is a sexist and a misogynistic person who, oddly enough, with the makeup he wears in his nose job, is also homophobic. And all of those elements really disgust me, and I can't support him. But with that being said, I know that he is doing some work in the space and has some guests that Tracey likes. She's left us. Hopefully she's coming right back.
Maybe she'll come back. I think you run her off.
I hope not. Tracey, do come back. I love you.
I don't really watch The Breakfast Club either. To your point, I've seen interviews with folks that I like. You know, like Jennifer Lewis is on The Breakfast Club. I'm gonna watch it because I love Jennifer Lewis. I live for her. So things like that. I don't keep up with the show regularly.
Oh, yeah, I had to fix my lips.
But I'm familiar with everyone that does the show. And your perspective on Charlamagne and Wendy is one that I've heard before. Someone very close to me feels the exact same way.
But I'm older. You know, I'm older. And I mean,
yeah, an older person that, feels the exact same way.
This is an older person as well. You know, someone, you know, in that 35 up category. Tracey, tell us though about what you saw and the talking points that were brought up, because I think they are going to be good for discussion. I do.
Oh, for today with Ice Cube? Ice
Cube's a pimp.
See, that's what I'm saying. You know, we can't have no real.
I'm going on mute, Tracey. I'm muting it right now.
No, all I was telling him is that I really wished he would reconsider watching The Breakfast Club, especially now, because they are really doing some really dynamic interviews with politicians, with community leaders, with entertainers who are now becoming community leaders and trying to bring about some kind of change in prison reform and education reform and trying to rebuild Black wealth. So I just think, regardless of how you feel about how Charlamagne and Wendy Williams came up, I do believe people have an opportunity in life to change. He did build his popularity on one thing, but now I see Charlamagne changing into someone who is learned. He is reading more, and he's surrounding himself with individuals who are teaching him about the Black community and growth and wealth and how we can reform. So I think I just would encourage you to look at some of those interviews that have that. I mean, I'm not saying look at the interviews that have what's that rapper? Oh God, from Memphis. Oh God.
Soulja Boy, tell him.
Oh yeah, those kind of interviews. I'm not saying tune in, but what I'm saying is tune in to those interviews that have meat. Good. You know what I'm saying? If you see someone up there, because I pick and choose which interviews I watch. You know, some interviews, I'm like, they had a strip up there one day, and I was like, why do I care? But then they had someone who was a former prostitute who is now helping women who are being trafficked. Like, it's just so they have a lot of depth on the show, and I feel like you're missing out on a lot of things that are happening within our community by turning them off the air.
Well, the benefit of our relationship, Tracey, is I have you. And as you watch the show, you're going to update me and you're going to keep me abreast. I don't like Ice Cube either. And I'm telling you what I'm working on, Tracey. I'm going to tell you what I'm working on. And I'm working on not letting a few comments or disagreements cause me to write off a celebrity. And that's a real issue for me.
Because from everybody, Brittany.
It's a whole group of people.
For you say something he don't.
No, Brittany. I'm very taken, you know, Brittany. I'm going to always for you. This is the thing. I lost 28 Facebook friends over my comments and postings about Nick Cannon, because a lot of Black men felt very beholden to Nick, to protect Nick and rally behind Nick. And I'm all about, you say hateful, anti-Semitic things, you're out, you're gone. Because if a white person said that about Black people, or if a Jewish person said that about Black people, you're canceled. I won't forgive you. I won't forgive Nick Cannon. I'm still not going to forgive Nick Cannon, nor will I ever support Nick Cannon. But I've also never liked Nick Cannon. But, and I also want to say that for the 26 Facebook friends I lost, I'm glad I lost them, because I have like a whole queue of like 100 other people to add. So I was able to add, you know, new people. But I have a question. Yes.
I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to cut you off. But I have
no, Pro.
I don't know everything that Nick said, but did he say something anti-Semitic? Because
everything was anti-Semitic.
wait, okay. What I heard him say was something about Black people are the original Hebrews.
He did. He said a lot of the Black Israelite language, and he said a lot of those things. But he also said that Jewish people were evil and, you know, savages and killing babies and conspiracy theories about.
Did you say Jewish specifically, or did you say white?
That's a good question.
It was Jew. When he was saying white people, it was aimed at Jewish people in the context of the conversation because of what Professor Griff was saying. Now, I will give him credit in that Professor Griff was the one saying much worse things, and then he would come in and say, like, Griff would be saying Jewish people or the Jews, and then Cannon comes back and says white people. So he was trying to quantify it and make it all white people, but regardless, those kinds of hateful, typical blanket statements, one, feeds into a false narrative of hate for Black people, and it pits marginalized communities against one another. It negates the history between the Black and Jewish communities that has led to significant progress in previous times, at a time when we need all of our allies to be united in one against the issues we face with systemic oppression, because systemic oppression affects Jewish people as well as Black people.
Well,
and we still have against the killers of Brianna.
Well, I got to jump in. You've got to also understand that Jewish people, and I love them. I have a Jewish mentor, Dr. Goldfarb, that I love and appreciate and adore, but we have real honest conversations. And he has said to me, I recognize, even though I'm Jewish, I still benefit from my white skin. So at the same time, I don't want to negate what Jewish people went through with the Holocaust. It is horrific what they went through, but at the same time, they can pass in this country. And we've got to recognize that. It's some people that will not say that they're Jewish. They will pass and they can reap the benefits of their white skin.
There's some Black people that won't say they're Black and they can pass.
Okay. How many? Carol Channing? We are no longer.
I'm just saying this happened. This has happened. It still happens.
My thing is, and Christina she brought up the point that I was
She always is going to bring it up. She's going to put
that point I was about to make. They got their reparations. They got the apology and apologies that they so deserved. They did,
and they get multiple holidays now that are recognized throughout the world in our national calendar. I mean, the regard that their community is given, and rightly so. Nobody's trying to take anything away from them, but we have not gotten the things that we need. I'm not talking about this isn't even in connection to the Nick Cannon thing. I'm just talking about Black people right now. We still have not gotten the things that we need. And until we do the work to really dismantle white supremacy and get the reparations in all sense of the word that we deserve, I personally don't want to see us tearing anybody down, including Nick Cannon and including him tearing people down. Like, no, he shouldn't be tearing anybody down, but I certainly don't want to see us tearing people down either, because we have so much work to do as a community to fix this problem that's not our problem. And also, one more quick thing about reparations. I also think that reparations is a tricky subject because we also then have to talk about how are we going to teach people how to manage and deal with their money and invest money and save money, because reparations will not work if people get money and it just goes right back into the system, because all they're doing is consuming and not building and investing.
And that's all.
I agree. I want to say,
but let me say this about Nick before you say something.
I'm gonna make 2 points, but say this, and I need to jot my note down because I gotta say, go ahead. I'm gonna
Nick. Okay, everybody, we've got to understand Nick has employed so many Black people. He has given so many Black people opportunities to work, and now these people are no longer working. And so, and I know you don't understand. You don't feel bad about that.
You do that before you open your mouth and say hateful things.
But at the same time,
Tracy, Papa John's employs a lot of people too. I'm not eating that pizza no more.
He still has opportunities. He ain't completely shut down, and people still are supporting his food. What I'm saying is, we cancel a Black person like a Nick Cannon. It is hard for us to get another Nick Cannon. White people have an opportunity. They have opportunity to make mistakes and learn from them or not.
I agree with that. I do agree with that.
So we cancel a Nick Cannon. Who do we have next to come in his position to provide opportunity for our people? We do not have the access. We do not have the resources. So I say unto you, my friend, be forgiving. The man came out and apologized. He out here having conversations with a rabbi. He's up here trying to learn from his mistakes. He's putting out, good content as far as like the Dr. Sabi documentary. Hold up. Now I know Wildin' Out is for the young folk. Okay. It's a little.
I know Dr. Sabi.
He can be a little ignorant, but he's also.
I'm living the alkaline life right here.
All I'm just saying is, please, just
Tracey, let me say, I know Brittany
himself.
I'm glad Bethany is here with us tonight because Bethany and Brittany, when's your birthday?
October 8th.
So you're a lovely Libra. That's why you're so beautiful. Libra. Every Libra you meet, you'll never meet a Libra that's not a beautiful Libra. And I want everyone out there. I wasn't going to share this, but I'm going to share. I want you to pray for a Libra that I know. My father is a Libra. My father has been diagnosed with COVID-19, and he's diabetic. So keep my father, Hewlin, in your thoughts if you will, because prayer makes a difference. Absolutely. He's in Houston where there's a massive COVID-19, spread. Yeah. And so Bethany, beautiful Libra, Brittany, is a Scorpio like me. And we are noted for not being forgiving or for being very, like letting things go. And I'm going to say this, but what you said, Tracey, hit a note is true 100%. We can cancel a white celebrity for racist and hateful things. And there's 26 people to fill that void. In the Black entertainment community, there are areas that people like Nick Cannon feel, and the heir apparent or replacements aren't there. But when someone like Nick Cannon abuses his celebrity and uses it for harm, to me it says that's the time for someone else to come into that place.
I'm sorry. Abuse is habitual. Abuse is something that's repetitive.
That's true.
He has a history of he doesn't have a history of doing this.
I will give you that. And I will say maybe it's not abuse, maybe it's a mistake. I can give you that. I do appreciate the learning journey he is.
I need more liquor. I will be right back.
I will continue for Bethany and for Christina. I think too, Brittany, because she done heard this a million times. I believe that I agree. I want her to get educated, but also say this: at 40 plus years old, my brother, I think he's 38. Somebody checked me last time I said it. You're 38 years old. There's no way you don't know that what you said was hateful and was destructive. In addition to that, I understand about we don't want to tear down any other Black brother or sister who is working and contributing to the community. But I want to say this: this is how it works for the village and for the allies outside the village. Inside the village, we are the ones that make the village work and make the village run. We are also the ones that must police the village. When someone in the village breaks the village norm and you cause harm, we're the ones who must be the police of our brothers and sisters. That's what it means to be your brother or your sister's keeper.
And that's fine, but he lost his whole job, like somebody else's.
But when we uphold him and we say that what you did, we are going to protect you, that's really not what we should do in the village. That's what the allies outside the village, that's what their job is. That's their job. Inside the village, we police the village. Outside the village, the allies can't attack Nick Cannon for his hateful speech against someone outside the village. But they can protect and defend him if it's something you can defend.
I think we can hold him accountable.
That who came to his defense is Fox, a network known for hate. But Viacom, who owns BET and who has given Black people a large amount of room to grow and create, condemned him. But yet and still, we're attacking Viacom, who has given us a platform, who has given our most prolific creator, Tyler Perry, a platform. We're attacking them, but we're praising Fox for giving his brother a chance. I also believe, Brittany, that Charlamagne is a part of a whole network of Black men who are anti-Semitic, who hate Black women and hate homosexuals. And I believe that Charlamagne, Nick Cannon, Puff Daddy, and all these people that are coming out now, they're doing it with their own agenda, and it's a hate-filled agenda. And I can't support it. When Nick Cannon allowed Professor Griff to even come on his show, he had lost me there. You had gone down and made an unforgivable choice. I won't be able to support him. But I will say this. I am going to work on being more forgiving of celebrities who make mistakes. It just won't be Nick Cannon. Not only will it not be Nick Cannon, it won't be these people in Pennsylvania either. This is a scene from a Walmart in Pennsylvania where this black man had purchased a bicycle. And he was leaving out of the store with a bike he purchased, and he was accosted by 2 police officers and arrested and detained. When he bought the bicycle and could not produce the receipt in a timely fashion.
I wish I had the words, but I really don't.
The reason why I'm even bringing this up is that, one, I'm like, Tracey, we need to every week highlight injustice in the justice system towards black people. We need to do it every week because people are forgetting. And I get it. People get fatigued.
I don't know.
Backing away. We're running behind the new trend of the day. We cannot look away from this.
I don't know if we're forgetting. I think what it is, it's not, I don't even think it's fatigue at this point. I think we are at the point of we don't have help. There's no real, the justice system is not behind us. So at this point, we're just like, we see something like that and we say, yeah. That's unfortunate.
But we do have help, and there's strength in numbers. Another reason why I am 100% in favor of hitting hate speech hard. We need our Jewish brothers and sisters in the fight to end systemic oppression.
We do.
We need it. We need them. We need every Black, Indigenous person of color and ally and friend we can get, because we're not going to end it any other way. Black people aren't the ones causing systemic racism. So therefore, we're not the ones who can end it.
That's correct.
Well, here's the thing, because I've been having conversations with the students at DePaul. And
true, Christina.
That's a good point, Christina.
Yes. Thank you, Christina.
But our next topic is going to be something for you. It's right. It's coming up right next. You have this for you. That stimulus.
Well, wait, let me finish saying what
I'm going back to it. I just wanted to let Christina know we coming. I got something coming for. We're going to talk about the stimulus. Continue.
My issue with the allies, because we need them, right? Especially the allies of color, is that they have to recognize at this point in life that they have been silent. And I don't see enough of them speaking out and saying, you know what? I have been silent.
Previously,
our Asian brothers, our Hispanic brothers, you know, we never really have seen them in the fight with us, and they've never verbally said anything, because quite honestly, they sit at the table with the white people. Mm-hmm. But they benefit from our fight. They benefit from the Black person struggle.
And they benefit from white supremacy.
And to be honest, they blend in with white folks.
Mm-hmm. So Tracey, you're right. I agree with you.
I do have an issue. My thing is, yes, we need them as allies, but I need them to recognize where they've been complicit.
Right. You're right. Brittany, Tracey, I agree with half the statement. I disagree with half the statement. I agree with you that many
don't agree and disagree at same time.
I agree what the second half about people they're benefiting from our struggle, but they're also benefiting from white privilege that we will not ever benefit from. I agree with that. But it goes back to, I think that I'm trying to think of what you said in the very beginning that I didn't agree with it. Do you remember the first one?
You saying that they need to recognize
what?
That they've been complicit, that they've been silent in our struggle and our fight. You don't agree with that?
This is what I was going to say with that. Not every, as a whole body.
I haven't seen a sign. I haven't seen a recording. I haven't seen a nothing.
Do you know why? That, let me tell you, this goes right back to the Jewish conversation with Nick Cannon. So I did, I'm an avid reader. There was a beautiful essay written by James Baldwin in 1967 that talked about the break between the Jewish community and the Black community in New York. It was, you can Google it, 1967. I forget the specific name of his essay. And what James Baldwin said, because this is what happened. The civil rights movement was largely financed by a lot of people, but many of them were Jewish. They had come out of World War II. They had come out of the Holocaust. They had come out of these issues. They did. They came out on top, and some. And they were fighting with Black people like none other for equality. And they were doing the things that nobody else could do. And they were pouring the money into the movement to ensure getting people out of jail, going on the freedom rides, being right there. White supremacists and racists saw this marriage and they saw this unity. They knew they had to break it apart because the Black man didn't have the financial resources to do the work that had to be done. And they began to sow seeds of division to break the two apart, and it worked. They turned us against each other. And when I named all those names previously, Nick Cannon, Puff Daddy, Charlemagne, they're based in New York. The hatred among Black people in New York towards Jewish people is very real. And I attribute it to this essay and the causes outlined by James Baldwin. But guess what? It was also a part of Ronald Reagan's strategy in the 80s to push Hispanic people and people specifically of Cuban descent in Florida away from Black people and the Democratic Party because he needed those votes. They knew in the 80s how valuable Florida would be for the electoral map, and they needed to make sure that Florida would always vote Republican. And how would they do that? The Cubans. Systemic racism works because it divides people of color from being one community. Because if we are one community, we are the majority. And we have the voting power, we have the financial power, and we have the ability with our allies to turn this country around. But they want us to be separate, and they want us to always be those Black people, those Hispanic people, those Asian people, those Jewish people. Because apart, we are mighty in the land, but small in number. And that is their power over us. But if we unite and we block vote and we pool our resources and we support our own communities, when I say communities own, I'm saying communities of color, we are unstoppable.
Look here.
That goes far beyond what any Black person can do.
I do not believe, and I know there are some people that believe that they are in our corner. I don't see it. When I go to the Asian community, they don't treat me with respect. They do not, at the hair stores and things, they think I'm going to steal. They are just as racist as white people. Any major metropolitan city in this country has a Chinatown. They have their own space where they can go and have their own schools, their own banks, their own grocery stores. We don't have we're not the same. So while I do believe that we should have them as allies, even our Hispanic community, they have all of the same. You go up and down Buford Highway. Part of it is Mexico, and then the other half we're over in China. So I do believe that they have more opportunities for loans than we do. They have more opportunities to build their own communities than we do. They do. Okay, we'll drive down Buford Highway and see what.
Tracy, look, that is a false narrative that has been portrayed.
Name a Black grocery store. Name a Black grocery store. Name a Black grocery store.
We go to the farmers. We go to Urban Roots Farmers Market. That's a Black grocery store.
What?
Urban Roots Farmers Market that we go to, and that's a Black grocery store.
I cannot go there and get my dairy. I cannot go there to get my meat.
You need to tell them to expand. And there you go. Thank you, Christina Andrews. Thank you. We got 7 Nanda. We got 7. Yes. We just, but you don't.
I was gonna say Seven Nanda, but that's one. I mean, yes, we do have Seven Nanda, but what else?
In all of our Black communities,
and look at Christina's comment. We aren't doing that work. We're not supporting the Black-owned businesses because we say,
we're
not supporting them, Tracey Bonner, because we say they have bad customer service.
They do. Not all of them, but a lot. And you experienced it the other week. And I
do believe in giving grace to Black-owned businesses. I do believe in that. You have to extend some extra grace. I believe in that. But
Brittany, this is why, Tracey, we're going to move on to Nancy Pelosi and the stimulus because that's a real issue I want to talk about. I know you got to go. Look, I believe that, I'm trying to say how to word the right way.
You got to go in 8 minutes. Wrap it up.
I know. You and now Jamel. See, now I'm old. I'm getting old. So
everybody's laughing at this point.
I know it's because it's funny. I'm trying to get my words right. When you talked about when you talk about the communities and they don't understand, Tracey, when you leave Beaufort Highway and you're Asian and you go, they're discriminated against just like you. They're looked at by white people just like you. They're judged by white people just like you. But guess what? And the way that you feel that they're racist to you, those Asian people may feel that that Black people are racist to them. I have gone and let me finish.
Brittany, thank you for being part of the show.
I think that both of us.
And this is going nowhere fast. We're going down.
Brittany and Tracey, really, honestly.
That is not
gone into a gas station and witnessed a Black person disrespectfully mistreating a person of Asian descent in the gas station. Because I have, when I go on the West End and I'm in the store making a purchase, I have seen Black people mistreat the store workers horribly.
You know why?
I was about to say, so have I, but
those store owners
are rude.
They follow them around the store. I
have seen the opposite of that.
I'm not gonna let you do this because I walked into a gas station near, I think it was off Jonesboro Road, and the Asian man behind that freaking glass did not speak to me. He was very rude. I asked him a question about the ATM, and I was like, so I guess you just gonna mistreat me because you think I'm hood or ghetto. But when I showed him my American Express card, my platinum card, his ass changed. I don't like that, where we give allowances to other communities because we think that they experience the same kind of racism. Let's be clear, they don't.
They do not.
I didn't say it was the same kind of racism. I said it was racism as well.
No, I don't care.
Racism affects all people of color, period.
Yes, they do experience racism. They do not experience it at the same level as us. And the way that we know that is because they also are taught in their communities anti-Black racism, specifically anti-Black. Latinx communities, Asian communities, South Asian communities are taught anti-Black racism specifically. They are also taught to glorify whiteness. They are also taught to glorify fair skin. The same type of self-hatred that we're taught sometimes in our Black community, they learn as well. They learn as well. And so to try to put them in the exact same category is not fair. It's not to negate that. Of course they're discriminated against because white people think this is their king, white man's land. Of course, nobody's going to be on the same level as them, but there are folks who benefit from white supremacy. There's a video of these folks being accomplices to a Black man who was doing like a protest. I forget, in some type of courtroom. One of the women was Asian, and this Asian woman and this white man were able to put their bodies wherever the Black man went. They moved in front of him. And the cops never touched them. All they were trying to do was get to the Black man who was being peaceful. He was doing a peaceful protest. He was shouting whatever he needed to shout. And this Asian woman and this white man, everywhere he moved, and they never once tried to touch either one of them. They only went for him. And that's an indicator of the differences. They didn't say, okay, well, we know we're not going to touch the white man, but we will yank this Asian woman up. No, it didn't apply to her. But if that had been a Black woman,
oh yeah,
it would have been both. I'm not disagreeing with that. I agree 100%. My only argument is that every person of color in America experiences racism and is a victim of systemic racism from white people.
That wasn't my argument. I didn't say they didn't experience racism.
You said that in Buford Highway.
What they are not aligned with our struggle, but they benefit from our struggle.
Well, you're right. You are right. I will concede
on this one.
And I actually hope that everybody. I don't agree with all of it, but I concede. But I hope this woman doesn't concede, and I hope we all can benefit from her fight with the second round of stimulus for the American people. This is, and I want to, in full disclosure, I did not benefit from the first stimulus. I will not benefit from the second stimulus, and that's okay because it's about the good of the people. And right now, the House Democrats in May developed a second stimulus package for all American people. A $3 trillion stimulus package that included loan forgiveness, that included direct payments of, I think, either $2,000 or $2,800 to direct disbursements to people. It included money for schools to reopen safely. It included additional bonus money to our healthcare workers. It was a very strong package. The Senate Republicans said there's no way it's going to pass. It has been tabled since May, and they are working with the White House to develop their own package, but they can't agree. Some people want a package that includes zero payments to people directly, some Republicans. Other Republicans want it to be capped at only if you made less than $40,000 last year. Are you going to get any disbursements? There are also, in all Republican plans, large amounts of money being given to businesses as opposed to people, to businesses as opposed to healthcare workers, to businesses as opposed to schools. And they have a requirement that you have to, you cannot sue schools or businesses if you contract COVID-19, if you're forced to go to work or go to school. And it's only the amount of $1 trillion. What do you got? And the Republican plan doesn't continue the $600 of extra unemployment payments, which runs out tomorrow. Should the Democrats concede and simply quickly get a plan?
I thought it was 31st.
Oh yeah, I'm thinking I'm pushing the. No,
it's the 25th. I need my one more week.
No, it's the 25th. It's Saturday, Tracey. It's unless they extended it without me.
Christina said it for me, so I don't need to say anything.
I agree, Christina.
That's all I was gonna say. So she said I was gonna say they're trying to kill us. So
they're trying to kill us. And when you speak of them trying to kill us, we know that as we wrap up, the killers of Breonna Taylor have not been arrested. Mm-mm. One of the officers who killed Breonna Taylor actually was on vacation in Florida for vacation, and he had two women in his picture. Two women. One of them was real tan. I don't know, if she was. I don't know what person of color she was, but she looked like a person of color. On vacation, you had Portia Williams from the Real Housewives of Atlanta, granddaughter of Hosea Williams, has been arrested multiple times. They're still protesting in Kentucky. The mayor of the city is they're asking him to step down. He won't. We know that he probably had a bigger role to play than what we know. The attorney general of Kentucky is a black man who refuses to take action as well. It is a horrible situation and scenario. And the protesters there are threatening to go on a hunger strike until action takes place.
This is a longer conversation about Black women not being protected, not being supported. Yeah. This conversation is going to take much longer. I'm surprised you brought it up at this point in our conversation because, it just goes to show how when something like this, of this magnitude, happens to a Black woman, it gets ignored.
Yeah.
Black women show up missing all the time. We're kidnapped, we're raped, we are all of that. And there's no conversation. There's no have you seen us? There's no missing. Thank God for shows like TV One, shows on TV One that highlight these things, because if they didn't, we wouldn't know. really. And so for me, it makes sense, right? This is Kentucky, where there's stereotypes where these folks are not very smart, and so
I'm from Mississippi, Tracy. Come on.
Well,
you got the same stereotype. And I'm pretty
honey, Mississippi, Kentucky, that's the same to me. But
it's disheartening.
Yeah,
it's heartbreaking. And Tracy, I 129% agree with what you just said. And I fought everybody. I fought every Black man as well. I fought all of us for failure to make these issues what it should be. And
Black men don't support us in the rate in which we support them.
I agree. Charlamagne God is one of them.
And I do believe that there is going to be a change. It's going to be a shift with the Black women, the Black female community. If we don't get Black men's support soon, there will be an even bigger shift, because I'm starting to see it more and more, where Black women are turning towards other for support, for love, for emotional stability, for financial stability. We are looking toward other. And I think there will be a stronger shift in that, because Black men just have not shown up in a way that we've shown up for them.
True.
And it's unfortunate.
Brittany, you agree?
I do, wholeheartedly.
I do too. I'm not going to lie. I have seen it and how people have responded to Mayor Keisha Lance Bottoms. She, to me, is a national treasure. She is a point of pride that in the city of Atlanta, that a city as large, we have a mayor named Keisha Lance Bottoms, who is the beloved daughter of the city. And yet, and still, Black men have criticized her at a rate I have never seen anybody criticize. But yet Brian Kemp wants you all to die, and there is no word spoken. And so that definitely has given me insight into a mentality that is there. We are going to get ready to conclude. Bethany gives us the last word here. Black women are the most disrespectful in America.
Yeah.
And Breonna Taylor's case is evidence of that.
Yeah.
We go into our up, down, clown, and products that we love. And this week, I think, who starts us off? We start off with the up. And every week, Brittany, we end with like good news.
Love it.
Something that's great.
We try.
Yes. And so we start, of course, one good news is that, again, Sweet Magnolias is renewed for a second season.
Yes.
That Boomerang is going to feature you in that second season as well, Brittany, where we can see your art grow, that character grow.
Yes.
So what is some other good news of the week?
Ooh. What's some good news this week that I can share? Because
I know, right? I was gonna say, girl, you had 2 good auditions, honey, and you can't even talk about them.
Well, I know, but I will say I did get some good news today that I was able to share with Tracy earlier, which is that I got great feedback on an audition that I just taped with Tracy. Literally, wasn't it yesterday?
Yeah.
Tracy? Yeah. And I got great feedback from my agent, who is serious. Okay, she'd be watching them tapes like a hawk, like trying to see what's good. Does she need to tweak this? Does she need to retape? My agent does not play, and I respect her for it. But she sent me the best note, just saying how much she loved the tape, and I credit that to not only the work I put in, but the work that Tracy put in and the way she helped me. So, yes, shout out to us.
We collaborate very well together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, and I love that, because your agent, your money is her money.
Okay.
She needs you to get that job.
Absolutely.
And I love it. So, shout out to agents.
Yes.
The down of the week, guys, for me really is the young lady in Michigan, where Judge Mary Ellen Brennan did not release her from jail. She was on probation. She was put in jail because she was on probation, previously. Mm-hmm. She had had assault charges brought against her by her mother, and she was arrested for not doing her homework, although the teacher gave them flexible learning and opportunities. But the judge says that she did not release her back home to home custody because of fear and concern around her mother's safety and well-being. My issue with this, and that's a sad situation, It is a down. But the real down to me comes in the fact of this girl is in jail for violating probation around online homework in the era of COVID-19.
Right.
When COVID-19 cases are spiking in jails, and the killers of Breonna Taylor are in Florida.
On vacation.
On the beach. This speaks to the American criminal justice system to the 10th degree. Absolutely. It speaks to white privilege. It speaks to the flaws in how people are treated. And it speaks to the cruelty of this judge.
And the
lack of ability to see the moment.
And the lack of consideration for Black women again.
Yep.
So that's a down. Let's go. Let's get to something else, y'all. Because
but Tracey, what's the clown?
I'm Kanye. He always the clown. Cool for Cocoa Puffs. Boom.
You know, we give Kanye the clown. What about some products, ladies, that we're loving this week? Any product that you want to shout out or recommend?
Ooh.
And why you think I will shout out turmeric? So I do a lot of reading. And so I make turmeric tea. And it's not always good. Let me tell you what I put in my turmeric tea. I take a turmeric root, I take ginger root, I take a clove of garlic, I take lemon, and I boil it together and I put it in, and then I'll take a different kind of like store-bought tea. Today I chose like a pomegranate tea from the World of Teas or whatever for flavor. I try not to do a whole lot of, I'm a sugar addict, so I don't do a lot of like honey and stuff. I have to cut it out and only do it at certain times. But I make my tea, and I've been reading, turmeric has a lot of health benefits. It's really good with like internal inflammation and, stomach bloat. And, that's where all my fat settles is in my stomach. So it's really good to keep that stomach down. But they're also showing that it's really good for your immune system. And it really is seen to be perhaps something that helps combat getting COVID-19. And with us living in a country that went from 3 million COVID-19 cases to 4 million COVID-19 cases in 15 days.
Oh.
We went from 3 million to 1 million people tested positive for COVID-19 over the span of 15 days. I'm going to do everything that I can do to protect myself. I talked to my dad today who tested positive yesterday, and he was saying that, I was concerned because I thought his blood type was O. I'm O. I'm O, typical O, like many people, but he's actually AB. And so that also concerns me because there's a lot of research out there. It's not conclusive yet that if you are A blood type, you're most susceptible to COVID-19, followed by AB, followed by B, and then last O. And O blood type tends to be least reactive to having symptoms and challenges from COVID-19. So just be careful about it. But regardless, I'm O, but I'm still going to do everything I can. I'm masked up, I'm gloved down, and I'm taking my turmeric.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Bethany has a lot to say about turmeric. Bethany, just real quickly, is it good stuff or bad stuff about the turmeric? So Bethany, give us a real quick in the chats. Your products, ladies.
Sea moss has been really good for me.
I've heard that.
Mm-hmm. Sea moss and this supplement called Umka, which is a natural supplement. You can find boxes of it at the vitamin shop. It's something like you have to take 5 tablets at a time because it's natural. It's based in like the South African root stuff. But she said great stuff about turmeric. But those two things have really been keeping my immune system boosted, keeping me going during this time.
How do you take your sea moss? Is it a pill form or is it gel?
It's a gel. I put it in smoothies usually. Or I drink it if they've created like a drink. There's this place I know that sells like a mango flavor, so I'll drink that. But
and it's good and working for you. Tracey, products.
So I got a couple of not products, but a couple of places that I want to shout out. Washington Dental. Shout out to Dr. Eric Washington. He is my dentist, a Black dentist, y'all. I'm telling y'all, when I moved to Atlanta, all of my doctors are Black, and I just think that is so dope. So shout out to Dr. Eric Washington for keeping my pearly whites.
I need a new dentist. My dentist moved far away. So where is his office located?
He's located off of Hugh Howell Road, not far from the cab, where the cab school district is. It's not far from there. But I take
this from the district offices.
Yes.
Mountain. Okay, that's not very far.
I take the trip because he's just that good. And it's a small practice, and you're gonna get that community feel when you work here.
Yeah.
Also, Momentum Fitness.
Is it clean and professional?
Oh, clean and professional, and just like I said, like family. When I walk in, I'm like, "Hey, D," you know, she's my hygienist, and you know, I'll be like, "Hey, what's up, Doc?" And he's gonna take time to talk to everybody that comes in.
How old is he?
Doc is in his late 40s, early 50s.
You know, I like them older, where they done been there and seen it all. But does he have small? Does he have the big?
Look now,
questions about the dentist.
No, this is serious. Does he have small hand, like skinny fingers, or fat fingers?
I'm gonna let y'all have this conversation about the dentist.
I don't know.
But think about it. No, listen.
No,
if he has big hands, he can't be in my mouth working on my teeth. His hand too big.
No, he's done great for me. I just wanted to shout him out. And also Momentum Fitness. They're located at 5349 Snapfinger Woods Drive in Decatur, Georgia. My trainer, Tad Golden, is there, and I know the owner, Marlon. Are
they giving any specials? Can they give any specials for any of our viewers who are wanting a good workout at this COVID time?
I don't know if they're giving specials, but their sports physicals are being done here. They're being held here. They have personal injury wellness care, chiropractic adjustments, massage therapy. You can get it all. They're located off of Panola Road and Snapfinger Woods Drive. So go check them out, man. Get your health in shape. If you're going to get your immune system in shape, also get your body in shape. Let's do it.
That sounds good. Sounds like a great time. So thank you to everybody who joined us on the live cast, to everyone who's going to watch us throughout the week. And Brittany, thank you so much for coming. I can't wait to continue to see your star rise. In my eyes, you're already there. But I know that you're only going to get bigger and bigger and bigger and better and better and better.
He's regular, baby.
That's right. We can see you again. I'm gonna start my binging tonight of Boomerang.
Okay.
But anyone else can go back and watch. What is it? Love Is. We can see you there. DeAndre Pickett. I'm getting ready to text you shortly, my friend. Happy birthday to that Leo. Today is DeAndre's birthday. Happy birthday. We can also catch you in episodes of Survivor's Remorse, as well as
Atlanta.
Yes. So, super excited, and see y'all soon.
Thank y'all for having me. This was so much fun. Thank you, guys. I loved it. Thank y'all for watching too.
Thank you for coming.
Bye, y'all.
Bye, y'all.
Bye.